Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are playing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the role playing game tonight. So if that's what you came for, congratulations. That's what you're getting. My name's Ben, and I am one of the boys from the Baltic Star, and we play narrative games. And that often includes role-playing games, and on a Saturday night we normally like to mix it up just a little bit with some random stuff, throwbacks to the past and little indie games. And this time we're doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So before we do anything else, let me introduce the other people on the stream. We have the wonderful Sock Fiddler, who is joining us to play a special character in a special game. So thank you for joining us, Socks. How are you?
I'm all right. I enjoyed how stern you were at the start then. If that's what you're tuned for, then that's what you're getting. But, yeah, more of that, please, Ben. Thanks. Fine, though. I'm in good spirits. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Excellent.
Yes, and a regular returner for a Saturday, we have the wonderful Ewan. How are you, Ewan?
Hi Ben, I'm very good, thanks. I'm very good. I'm less enthralled by the stern Ben, but I'm hoping it'll ease off as we get into the night and you let us do more ridiculous things.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautifully dewy Ewan is this evening as well?
I may have caught the sun a little bit today.
Heidi Klum would weep for that complexion.
Excellent. Right, so the last time we played this, which was a few months ago now, because we only do this kind of thing occasionally.
Thank God.
The last time we played this, we did a kind of episode 0 stroke episode 1, where we created some characters and got the story moving, and I'll do a quick update in a minute. The Buffy role-playing game uses something called the Unisystem rules, and it was the first game to use the cinematic version of the Unisystem. I think it's quite a fun rule set. It allows lots of flexibility and lots of good sort of cinematic storytelling, and I hope it will play well and come across well, because I think it's enormously fun and I don't want to do it, a disservice. So, yes, unfortunately, it does use D10s. This is the bane of my life, but what can I tell you? D10s are a thing that we just have to live with now, because terrible things were done. Terrible things were done. Horrible compromises made. And the Unisystem does love its D10s. Everything is D10s. Right. So, without further ado, let me actually introduce the characters to begin with, because we need to talk a little bit about who our heroes are. So we have Barb Dwyer, who is a Slayer. Her stats are on the screen. She has a fairly impressive amount of combat capability. She's reasonably perceptive and has lots of strengths. Intelligence not really among them, it has to be said. She's what you might call of average intelligence. But being a Slayer, she's got an awful lot of combat skills and capability. She's very useful in a fight.
Look, I have people who think for me. I don't think I do. Notoriously, Slayers.
And she's gone for sports, which you understand in my brain is cheerleading, but I accept other sports are available.
Like beach volleyball.
Sure, that's fine too.
Not the Val Kilmer one, the other one.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah. And our other character, played by Ewan, is Guy DeLion, who is in fact a werewolf. Which means if you look at his stats, he's got different numbers in brackets somewhere in some places, because he's much beefier when he's hairy. And he's actually gone with some computer skills and some knowledge and some languages and other things that make him a fairly cultured werewolf, in fact. But he also does enjoy very rare meat and as it turns out, tearing the throats out of vampires. He literally pulled the head off one.
Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are our heroes to begin with. And in order to get the game started, I suppose I should give you a little introduction. So Bob Dwyer and Guy Lyon work in Marylebone, in the cellar of the office of Summit Agri-Systems, in Room 97. The team they work for is called Room 97, because it's based in Room 97, and because any other information would be giving too much away. In Room 97, a drab space in a drab building, there's a modern and expensive table, surrounded by computer cabinets. The laptop projects a hologram that glows, illuminating Barb's emote calendar, currently set to Cantankerous. A middle-aged man, Watcher, appears as a hologram, setting them on a mission for the night. Unusual violence aimed at regular people, not corporate employees, in the night, has been seen in the West End, in Green Park. It might be supernatural. Unfortunately, the bodies were recovered by Smith Systems, a corporation that has nothing to do with Summit. Smith Systems are responsible for security at the Buckingham Palace Casino, close to the park. So they tooled up with equipment from a fake computer cabinet. Barb grabbed a gun, axe, stake, crucifix, some water, the essentials of a fun evening. And our heroes set off for Green Park. On arrival in the park, they began an investigation, looking for any clues or evidence of the kills, but they were attacked by a group of vampires. The vampires had bitten off more than they could chew, speaking fairly literally, and it went poorly for them. In the aftermath, Barb stole the vampire leader's shoes because, well, reasons. After the fight...
They were called limited edition.
They were limited edition shoes. After the fight, they made their way to the casino, abandoning Guy's fourth burger, much to his disappointment. Barb managed to talk a random stranger into buying them both drinks before they played a couple of rounds of craps. Eventually, having latched on to an experienced gambler, who's known in the casino, Barb managed to persuade him to take her upstairs to the balcony, where only the most valuable players are permitted. Barb and Paul, her witless foil, stepped through a door from the court, and as Guy followed at a discreet distance, the door swung closed behind the two, leaving Guy in the court, surrounded by gamblers. And that is where we are. So the door has just swung shut, and the question is, where do we start? And I think we actually have to start with Guy, please.
Yes.
Because I need to know what Guy is going to do as soon as the door swings shut behind the two.
Wait, we're both in the same.
Look
We're
how
both
much
on the
Ewan
same
was
side of the door.
expecting that.
No, you are
We're-
on the
yeah,
on the
yeah,
main
that-
court because you were a
Yeah.
significant distance back when they stepped through the door.
Yeah.
So you're on the casino floor, which is inside
Yes.
what was the open courtyard of the palace, but is now roofed over.
Mm. I suppose their initial instinct would be to knock, but I'm not going to do that because that seems like it would definitely draw attention to the door that has just been walked through. Other ways in? Is it on an external wall? Would there be windows? Is there like a second floor to this room potentially?
So
Is there somewhere like close by that I could go up?
So if you imagine that when it was working as a palace, this was an open courtyard,
Yeah.
and the buildings that surround it are all 2 or 3 stories tall, and there are indeed windows from those upper stories overlooking the casino floor. But the casino floor is busy. It's full of people.
Can I just check, like, technology and communication devices and stuff? Because this is cyberpunky, so
It is.
we might have some kind of in-ear communicator or something.
I have absolutely no reason to believe you wouldn't. Yes.
Okay, I'm shocked we didn't establish that in the first session, but cool.
Guy's turned his off though because of the consistent talking about shoes.
Wow. Well, I turned mine off because you don't like tofu.
You'd valid. That's fair. No, I'm only joking. That would be silly.
I'm not.
At such a time. Okay, I think we look for another. Oh no, let's try the door. See if it opens.
You walk over and try the door. I'll tell you what. Can you make for me, please? Just to get the ball rolling.
And the dice.
And the dice rolling.
Those lovely D10s.
Yeah.
Making that lovely clacky sound.
As you walk towards the door, can you please make a perception check? And with your notice skill, please. So that's essentially going to be for you +5 on the dice.
And it's 1d10.
1d10 plus 5. Yeah.
Plus 5. That's an 8 plus 5.
13.
13.
Okay. In the uni system, that's worth a level 3 success, which is a good success. As you make your way across, you spot a couple of security guards in the corner closest to the door who are paying a little bit of attention as you approach the door. They're not looking alarmed or aggressive, but they are definitely looking in your direction. Do you want to continue and just brazen it out, or would you like to sort of change your path?
Well, I won't change my path, but I will, rather than approaching the door, I suppose I'll approach them.
Okay. You turn towards them.
As if I'm looking, yeah.
Okay. You walk up towards the two, and as soon as you start to approach, of course, they do turn and pay attention to this potential gambler and customer who's walking towards them. One of them gives a warm smile and says, "Good evening, sir. Can I help?"
Good evening. Yes. Could you point me in the direction of the nearest facilities, please?
Of course, sir. And he effectively points you back across the floor towards the entrance by the cloakroom, and there are facilities there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you don't find it rude of me. What's through there? Looks like a lot of. Is that where the high rollers go? Looks like a lot of security.
You're pointing towards the door?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Can you, under the circumstances, you don't have any influence, so it's going to be +0 and plus, I think, your intelligence in this case about how you approach it. That would be essentially a +4, D10 +4.
That is a 5 plus 4.
Okay.
9.
With a 9. All right. So they look a little less friendly suddenly. One of them says, "Sir, if you needed to know what was on the other side of that door, you'd already know."
I'd already know. Yeah. I had a feeling you'd say something like that. Oh well, no, nothing lost. Nothing lost, I suppose. Um, whilst we're having this conversation, can I have a look at them and check them out? Are they armed? Can I get a read on them at all?
Oh, yes, you certainly can. I'm going to suggest you can take that with a perception plus notice, so a +5 roll.
Cool. Oh, that's an 8 again. Different dice. Different 8.
13.
Oh,
Um,
13.
you're reasonably experienced at reading these kinds of situations. The two men are both clearly armed. They both have a little bulge underneath their quite smartly tailored, if not expensive, coats, their jackets. Um, at first glance, they appear to be fit, well balanced on their feet. They look comfortable in this surrounding, but also they would look quite comfortable in paramilitary gear as well. Um, they they seem very much in charge of the situation, and with that notice, I can tell you they each have a little badge on their jacket, which doesn't identify them by name, but has the logo of Smith Systems, the security company that handles security for the casino.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Nice to see you've got your security badges on display. It's not always the case, and how it's good to know who your security staff are, just in case you need to assert your authority, I suppose. Although I hope you don't have to this evening. And he'll start to turn.
Okay. And are you in fact heading towards the facilities?
Yes, indeed. And as once I've got a bit of distance and sort of into the crowd a little bit more, I'll start talking through the earpiece. Bob, you shut the door on me. The security.
Okay, then we will cut to Bob. So, on the other side of the door, Bob, you are with Paul, your witless foil.
Well, we don't know that he's weightless. I think he might be playing weightless, but I don't think he's weightless because he wouldn't be able to get through this door if he was weightless.
Okay. On the other side of the door, there's a sort of fairly straightforward looking corridor. There are a number of doors from it, and at the far end, a door that actually leads outside the building. But he doesn't take you that way. He takes you to a staircase which leads upstairs and starts to walk up the stairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not going to assume that I know where this is going, but I mean, you're you and I'm me. But there's this guy who, look, this might sound weird, and it's not like a weird sex thing or anything. It's just, I have to look after him. He's not entirely, I don't know how to put it nicely. So let's just say he needs some assistance in the community. And the door shut before he could come through it. And I'm just a bit worried because he gets quite agitated without me, but like he can come through and just wait in the corner, and then you and me, like whatever's going to happen can still happen. We just need to, I don't, you know how it is. You know how it is, right? And she gives him a winning smile.
All right. Okay. I'll tell you what. On that basis, can you roll for me a willpower plus influence check? So that's +6, please.
Okay, so that's 1d10 plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
1d10 plus 6. 14.
14. Okay. I'm actually going to roll his willpower as well. Okay. Um, he hesitates for a moment and then nods and says, "Sure, of course," and tries to brush it off as if it's not a very unusual request. But you've clearly convinced him. So he steps down the few steps that he was in the process of climbing, and walks over to the door and pulls it open again.
And that happens exactly as Guy's going, Bob, the door closed, Bob. And then the door opens.
So indeed, almost opposite the door, but now just a little way into the throng of people at the tables, you can indeed see Guy.
Hey, Guy, don't panic. Stay calm. I'm right here. Come on. Come on. Just like the nurse told you, just walk towards me and keep your breathing nice and even. Good boy.
Guy turns around and acts really excited and has a big smile
Hey,
on his
Russ.
face. And starts walking towards the
Come
door.
on, Guy. Come
And
on,
and as he does, he tries to, without moving his lips, say into the earpiece, "I'm not a dog," whilst grinning.
Oh, and she nudges Paul and she's like, "Look at him, isn't he sweet? Like, how could you resist that?" Yeah, and she gives his arm a bit of a squeeze, and sort of accidentally leans forward just a touch too much, so he can get like a little bit of a glance as a reward.
Okay. Yeah. As Guy makes his way in through the door, Paul lets it swing shut again. And
Can I just say, as I was talking to you and like he was a dog, my actual dog was like, yeah, I'm here for this. She's just turned up. I'm full attention. She's ready.
So it worked.
And you'll notice Ewan's cat did not react at all.
No, I mean, there we go. Like, cats and dogs, sorted. We've just defined that.
Different
That's
beasts.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. And hi, Russ.
So, as the door swings shut once again, all three of you are now at the bottom of the stairs, and Paul glances across at Barb and says, "Shall we go upstairs?" And then turns towards Guy and says, "You'll be okay here?"
Guy looks around and then just nods and smiles.
Now remember, don't talk to anybody unless I talk to you first. And vending machines need money. Do you have money? Would you like some money?
He nods.
Okay, good boy. I sort of give a hand signal that sort of says I'm sorry because I'm really laying it on now, and I know that our friendship might be in stake. I'm just gonna go and
Saying that, or is that Barb?
no, I'm not sorry at all. Turns out Barb's much nicer than I am.
Yeah.
No, that's Barb. Like, just generally, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a quick walk with my lovely new friend, and look out the window. Look at this lovely window. I'm assuming there's a window. If there's not, she's just pointing at a wall.
Yes, yeah. There are doors, a couple of doors on each side of the corridor as it makes its way through the thickness of the building, and at the far end there is a door which does indeed have a glass window in it, looking out over the. Well, actually, it's the side that faces towards Green Park.
Oh.
Guy walks up to the door or the wall next to the door and starts peering through the wall that does not have a window in it.
Excellent. I'll be back in some time. Yes, there will be some time, and then that's fine. He's fine. If we got like a bowl of water we can put on the floor for him, he'll be fine. Let's go, Paul.
Okay. So Paul, he's still looking a little bit confused, but he walks up the stairs, and if Bob follows him, he will.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, he walks up essentially 2 flights of stairs to the first floor of the building above, and there is a little landing, quite smart wood panel, and wooden door frames, carved wooden door frames,
Huh.
everywhere you look, and he walks towards the middle of this sort of building structure and opens a door, and you can see quite a long corridor stretching off towards the front of the building
Okay.
down this side.
She's hanging back a little bit, just long enough to whisper to Guy through the comms, "I'm super sorry, and I love you, good boy." And then she catches up.
Okay. You walk your way down the corridor. There are doors on each side. None of them are labelled or marked in any way. But Paul ignores all of them until
Do
you
I
get.
do I have like the regular Slayer stuff? Like I can detect when there's bad guys around, for example,
You can detect vampires.
and none of my Slayer senses are going off.
Not at the moment.
Okay, cool.
You do have. If you wanted to identify if there was a vampire in that enormous casino area, you'd have to sort of look at everybody and focus on it. But
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Paul,
This guy's really good
is
looking,
not-
and he's taking me to a balcony, so that's fine.
Paul is not tripping your Slayer sense,
Not the Slayer sense, at least.
your Spidey sense.
Yeah, no, we're cool.
Okay.
I was just curious.
So he leads you right to the end of this corridor, and the very last door on the right, he opens, and you step through into a fairly ornate-looking, quite large, smart room. It's laid out like a living room or a drawing room. Chairs, sofas, small tables, card table, drinks table kinds of things, cabinets against the wall for drinks and entertaining. And there are a couple of people in here. A youngish man and a youngish woman who look up without much curiosity as you come in. Paul completely ignores them and keeps going to the door on the far side.
I follow him. I wave at the people. Hello. All right. Good evening. Nice shoes. And then she'll sort of whisper to Paul, "Do you know, this looks a lot like my grandmother's house," and she winks.
And he nods and says, "Yeah, mine too, funnily enough."
Huh? How about that? I hope we're not related. That could get awkward
That
later.
would be weird. And at the end of this, quite large living room, he opens up another door, and this leads through into a room that is surrounded by paintings on the walls. It's almost laid out like an art gallery room, and there's nothing in the middle of the room at all, just an open wooden floor. But there are chairs with their backs to the wall all the way round the area. It feels more like a waiting room than anything else. And again, there's nobody in this room at all. And again, he just keeps striding across until he gets to the door on the far side.
What are the pictures of? Are they mostly portraits, or are they all different kinds of subjects?
They are overwhelmingly landscapes.
Wow. Like really old ones without any kind of cyberpunk crap built on them.
No, they are old paintings.
Old
These are expensive paintings. There's a fair amount of sort of Constable and Stubbs up there. This is
Ooh.
high-end, expensive art, but it is not in any way current. And there's studies of wildlife, ducks in flight, and a painting of Lake Windermere and things like that. And he ignores all of that, and walks straight over to the door on the far wall and opens that as well. And this time, whereas all of the previous times he's opened a door, it's just been a door. This time, when he pulls it open, there's a kind of flourish, and he says, "I think this is what you're looking for." And sort of holds out his arm to sort of wave you through into the room beyond.
Can I look through the door before I step through it?
You certainly can.
What do I see?
Well, that really depends on a check.
Okay.
If you think about it, that's kind of inevitable. Can you make a perception check, please? And I think this will just be... this will just be a double perception. So your perception is 4, so can you have +8, please?
8. Okay. 10.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay. The room is larger than the last 2 you've been through. It's the full width of the building, if you're any judge. And on its left-hand side, there are some very large, impressive-looking floor-to-ceiling windows. On the right-hand side, there are a couple of doors that are like French doors, and they look slightly less imposing, but they're still smart. The room has a couple of sofas in it and a couple of tables, and it is empty of people.
So here's my question to you, Mr. Paul. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you're not dressed badly, but you're not looking like somebody who could just stroll through a room full of whatever all of that stuff there was, and the previous room of all of that stuff, and into this room with all of this stuff. And this is fun, don't get me wrong, and I'm hoping that that over there is the balcony I'm desperate to be on. How come you've got all this access to this building, and how come you're allowed to like bring someone like me through it without anybody questioning you?
He smiles and he says, well, casinos don't really care how well you're dressed as long as you're rich and as long as you play.
Ooh.
And they're very good at staying out of your way if you aren't looking for them. But they're also very good at finding you when you need them to.
She's going to take a moment to think about this, and in the meantime, she's going to be like, and the balcony?
And the balcony. And he
balcony.
strides across to those sort of large windows on the left and unhooks one and pulls it open. And outside there is indeed the royal balcony.
Can she pull out from her like coat? I forgot what she's wearing. Like a little tatty postcard of Queen Elizabeth with the Silver Jubilee waving with her family from the balcony. You know, as the red arrows fly. But it's one of those pictures with everything happening.
Sure, if you like, why not?
She puts it out and shows it to him. She's like this one. Is this one? Is this it?
This is the one. Yes.
You're not going to throw me off it or anything, are you?
No, that would be probably quite rude.
It would be quite weird. In that case, and she runs through the door and then stands roughly where she estimates the Queen to be standing and does her very stupidest wave.
Okay, all right. Paul comes to stand beside you on the balcony. The view from where you are literally looks straight past the
Straight
Victoria
down the Elizabeth
and Albert fountain and straight up the Mall towards Admiralty Arch. And it is a very, very smart view from here. You can obviously see just in front of you and below you the open area in front of the palace itself and the big wrought iron railings.
Nice.
the
Can
road
I
the other
try
side.
to pose Paul like Prince Philip in the postcard?
Yeah, why not?
You know, I just smarten him up a bit and make him, I don't know, give him that slightly uncomfortable expression that the Duke of Edinburgh always had. And he's got like one hand on the railing and the other hand almost raised in a wave. And the look on his face like Grandad's about to say something slightly racist. Like that. That's how I'm going to style him.
Okay, yes, of course. And while you are doing this, we will turn our
Yeah.
attention briefly to Guy. So, Guy, what is your plan? Are you still basically staring at the wall?
No, I think I would have done that until he heard the first door close.
Okay.
And then he's going to have a little look, wander around and have a little look. Obviously, the door leading out, is that open? Will that open?
You can certainly try it.
He will do.
When you turn the handle, you discover it's locked. In the sense that the main handle doesn't open it. There is a button on the wall for electronic release.
Sorry. That was just a funny way to put that. I'm sorry. Nothing. Moving on.
Definitely nothing. Okay, cool. He won't press it. He won't open the door. Just, making sure there's a way out at some point. And then are there any other doors on the ground floor?
Yes, there are. There's one on each side of that corridor that feel like they would lead into a room close to the end where you are, the outside end. And then there are two that directly face each other, kind of in the middle, which probably lead into corridors that would run through the building.
Okay. That one that feels like it leads into a room, I suppose.
Okay, left or right?
Let's try the right one. Ended poorly last night, so let's try the left, shall we? That's all I've got to go on.
I admire your logic. That's excellent logic. Okay. Okay. All right. Can you, for me, please roll a perception? And with it, notice, please. So a 5 plus d10.
Which would be great because I rolled a 10 on the dice, but this is my percentile dice, so that is in fact actually just a 1.
Oh.
Yes.
So a total of 6.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay, a total of 6. You swing the door open, and despite the fact that you're, theoretically on alert, you have pushed it all the way open before you see what's inside, and haven't been as subtle about it as you might have hoped. In there is a set of desks, and behind those desks there are a couple of people sitting, working on computers that are built into the desktops, but desk surfaces. They're designed in such a way that even though the screens are fairly flat, and you can actually see theoretically the side of them, they don't actually throw any of their light in your direction. You have to be straight in front of them to see. They're designed for security operations. And the two people behind the desks are both very smartly dressed, if cheaply, and look up with frowns on their faces and immediately drop what they're doing and stand up. And the nearer one takes just a pace towards you, and you can see his right hand sort of hovering near near his sternum, as if he's ready to go for a weapon if he needs one. But what he says is, "Can I help you find something, sir?"
Oh, I'm terribly, terribly sorry. Wrong room. I'm just waiting for a friend. And he'll go to step backwards and shut the door.
Okay. Can you roll a willpower check with intelligence for me, please?
Yes, which is not
So that's a total of +5.
that great. That's a 6 plus 5 is 11.
Okay. The as you back away, the person who's speaking to you says, "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable waiting on the casino floor, sir. I'll escort you." And steps out with you to walk you towards the door you came in through, past the steps. But only one of them comes with you.
Can I? Does the door shut behind us? Does he shut the door behind?
Let me. Yeah, it does. It swings shut as soon as he steps through.
As he shuts the door, I want to put a hand over his mouth, and I will attempt to. I'm going to attack him. I'll just punch him. Just put one hand over the mouth and punch.
Okay.
I'm getting me a rich boyfriend. What are you doing?
I'm ruining it for you.
All
God,
right.
this is the most heteronormative experience I've had in years. Why?
That's what every potential suitor wants to hear.
Right? Normally I'm
As she
super
says
queer,
this
but
out loud.
you, dude, you saved me.
Okay. So, I have an obvious question to ask. As you reach out your hand, are you transforming at the same time?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay.
This feels like the moment to do so.
I'm going to suggest that you need to make a dexterity plus kung fu roll to find out if you can actually do this at all against his dexterity and kung fu before he can sound the alarm or draw a weapon.
Uh-oh. This is the time for a good one.
Gotta be a ninja werewolf now. You got this, bro.
That's not bad. That's a 7 plus. Did you say Kung Fu and Dexterity?
Yes.
Plus 5 for
Okay.
12.
Actually, it's +7 because your
Oh,
dexterity
yeah,
is
sorry,
4
of
when
course.
you're
My
wolfed out.
Dexterity is now. Yeah.
Okay. So he literally steps halfway past you because he's going to lead you towards this door. You hear the door slam behind, and while you're sort of just on the corner of his vision, you suddenly turn into this hulking werewolf creature, and your hand slams across and slams his head back against the wall with a fairly firm motion. It's going to be combat from this point on. So,
Indeed.
what exactly are you going to do? Are you going to bite his throat, slash through his midriff with your other hand? What?
I'm going to keep a hand over the mouth, and then I'm just going to keep punching the side of his head, or the back of his head, I suppose.
He's going to keep punching.
You are the worst wingman ever.
He stepped past me.
Worst.
Well, this rarely happens, and it's,
All right.
it's definitely a different character choice.
What I'm going to suggest then is that this will. What he was planning to do is would take longer than that, than just swinging your fist. So you get to go first, if you land a sufficient hit on him, I'm going to suggest that you stun him, and he won't get his move off at all. So,
Ooh.
have a go, please, with a melee attack. That's your strength, which is currently 7, as your attack characteristic,
Yeah.
with your kung fu, which is currently 3. So it's plus 10.
Ah, that is good. That's a 0, which in fact means 10.
That's a
So
total
that's
of
20.
20. That is 5 success
Oh,
levels.
God.
Here's,
It's like the old god in the background. sorry, sucks.
It's fine.
okay, he
I mean, it's
actually
not, but
failed, so you get 5 success levels. Now, because you're not actually using your werewolf claws, teeth, or anything like that, it is just like a punch. So it is your strength, your current strength plus 5 is the effect of the attack. So your current strength is 7, is it?
yeah.
Okay, so that's a total of 12. That is enough to stun him. He's not unconscious, he's not down, but he will miss his go. And you said you'd like to have another go?
Yes, please. This.
I think Hatman just summed you up completely, like in that last emoji they just posted.
D10 plus 10, please.
It's so perfect for you.
That is a 6 plus 10.
Okay, 16. Oh, God. He's not rolling well. That is your strength plus 4 this time. The second hit. So that's a total of 11 more. He's not reacting all that well, but he's still awake. His eyes are wide and staring.
And this time we will, I think, go. I'm in wolf form. I'm not thinking so much. We will go for something a little bit more lethal. And go with the claws. The claws across the throats, I suppose,
Claws
with
across
a
the throat.
view,
Okay.
with a view to keep them reasonably quiet.
All right. In that case, it is still your kung fu plus your strength, so it's still plus 10 on the roll for you.
That's an 8 plus 10 is an 18.
18. Okay.
These dice, I'm sorry, sucks.
4.
Honestly, this is just how we roll. It's fine. Just
Go
for it.
now.
Because we know that we make it a horrible mess, and then we chat, charm, fight our way out of it. It's going to be all right.
Yeah.
You got a 5, you got a 1, that's 4. Okay, so with your werewolf attack, that's 5 times your strength plus 4. So that's 35 plus 4 is 39.
I believe that's correct. Yes,
Yeah.
so.
That is enough. And with a slightly wet sound, his throat
Jesus.
is just hauled out in a neat little row, and jets of blood are thrown against the cream-painted wall next to the wooden panelling. As his
Oh, hi, IMT. Sorry,
his-
as you make that kill. Wait.
Yeah, perfect.
as his legs go limp, and he stops being a person around.
You've been esophagized. Well, that's taken a turn, hasn't it? Evening, Raiders. Ewan's gone on a savage murderous spree.
Already. Although spree is generous, I think.
No, I think this is the start. I think we've got a long tail to look forward to.
Well, I am a werewolf, so
Yeah.
currently.
Also, Pirate,
Long tail is where
Poops,
we're at.
Croy, Oliver, All the people.
Hey,
Hello.
everyone. Much love to the Raiders.
Oh,
Thank you,
Angie,
Angie,
Oh,
for
thank you,
this.
Angie. That's so kind.
Right.
Right. So yes, you have just disinthrotificated a
What a word.
Disengorged. That means something else, doesn't it?
not quite the same thing, no. Yes, you have conducted a neckectomy on the on the on the security guard, and he didn't get a chance to make any kind of call for help.
Good. Right, okay. Now I'm in a real dilemma because I have a body and I need to hide it somewhere. And there's lots of other doors. And I know for certain that one of them only has one person behind it. But I have
see your
no
logic.
idea what is behind the other doors.
Like a really complex game of Jenga, Croy, where he takes the neck out and then the head just goes bloop and falls down a block.
Yeah.
Let's say it was that, because that's funny.
Okay, so are you in fact heading back to the same room?
Security, ex-security guard in hands. I would like to head back to the same room.
Okay. I've got this. I have this image in my head of the werewolf loping slowly back along the corridor with the heels of his victim dragging along behind him as he goes back to the door. Okay.
Go.
Are you just opening the door again?
No, I don't think so. I'll drop the body for now, and I'll knock on the door, and he'll, smarten up his fur a little bit and
Okay.
wipe some of the blood off as he waits.
Excellent. The door opens, and a very slightly confused face appears, and is in the process of saying yes, and then sort of freezes for a second on the sight of werewolf, and immediately starts reaching for a pistol.
We pounce.
Okay, you're going straight for an attack.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to go first then. Your attack is going to be a full-on werewolf attack, I assume.
Yes.
Can you
Yes,
roll
please.
then, please, your D10 plus 10 for me?
That is a double 0 for a 10.
That's a total of 20. He did not, in fact, make a success out of his. So, as a consequence, your level for that is a level 5. So it's your strength times 5 is 7 times 5, 35. Plus 5. So a total of 40.
Jesus, what?
And he and he is instantly dead. He falls back, straight back over his heels, with the gun half out of its holster, just falling inside his jacket, still on the floor.
Just for lols, can I like patch through a voice call? Go, hi Pat, how's it going? Everything all right?
At that moment, he will transform back. That's possible, isn't it?
Yep.
We've established that. Drag the other security guard in back through the door, shut the door. and then just answer back. Barb, do you remember? I'm sure we spoke the other week about a code for when things go horribly wrong, and like a code word that we need to say to inform the other person. And we never actually came up with one. I think we should come up with
It was
one
like
now.
Daisy Chain or Scissor Sisters or something else quite gay, wasn't it?
Oh, did we agree on one? I can't.
No, I'm just telling you now. That's just the kind of thing I want.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd never say that out loud, so I know that nothing's ever going to go wrong. It's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. Good logic.
Yeah, I'd make you say the most terrible things in a moment of emergency, because that way, not wanting to say the terrible thing, you will never get yourself into a pickle.
Also good psychology.
Cool.
However, I have to inform you that things are going rather daisy chain.
How daisy chain? How many people are in your chain?
It's a two-person daisy chain.
Oh God!
Not include and me.
Three. There are three. She looks at Paul and she's like, he's just some weird dream he had. Yeah,
But it's all under control. It's fine.
Coming to terms with himself. That's all. Hey, look at that view. Deal with it. Deal with it fast. Love you, puppy pie.
And at that moment, we will turn our attention back to the balcony, where Barb is standing, looking slightly less comfortable suddenly, in the company of Paul, who's still a little bit confused by what exactly he's unleashed. But he's a civilized man. He's willing to go along with this for a nice-looking young woman.
Can I just read? I'm so sorry, Sparrow, to break confidence. Can I just read out a message I've just had in a DM from Sparrow? I can't believe he has gone from shocked awkwardness at Georgie executing a traitor to recklessly de-necking security guards he's never met. What happened? Exactly the question. Barb ends the call and she takes his hand and she's like, oh, isn't this special? You and this night and no trouble anywhere else at all. It's all so nice. What's your favourite game to play? I think mine might soon be craps.
I enjoy craps, though poker is good with the right people.
Wink. She actually says the word wink. I don't know what you. I mean, I'm just some upstart from SW2. I don't know what we're doing. Like, you're a nice. It's the balcony, and you're not quite grumpy enough to be the guy in this picture who I think his name was, I don't know, Prince Steve. Who knows? But I mean, I like tofu and overlong coffee orders that make people flustered. And I wear these trainers that I stole off a guy literally earlier on this evening. And I only ordered a tofu burger to make my friend really, really uncomfortable. And here I am on a balcony gazing out over whatever that nice line of road there is. And the statue of her, she had a name, right? She's like a queen of something.
Yeah.
This is nice of you to bring me up. What are we doing here?
He smiles at you and he says, yes, I thought taking the shoes was an odd move.
Look, they are a cool limited edition, and you shouldn't know that I did that.
Yeah.
Careless of me. So, perhaps we should introduce ourselves properly.
Okay, 1 second. And she just says down the comm, Scissor Sisters. And then, yeah. Hi, I'm Barb, and I have a comedy name, but that's not my fault. That was just my mum having a really bad sense of humour. Whatever.
And Paul says, Paul Andrews. Very nice to meet you.
it's funny. I was told never to trust somebody who has two first names as a name.
Andrews isn't technically a first name.
No, there are no people walking around called Andrew anywhere in the world.
No, there are many Andrews, but there aren't many individual people called Andrews.
Seems we're really splitting an infinitive here. But I'm going to say Andrew's not that much of an uncommon name. Or Andreas. And you can twist it a lot of ways. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I wish I could blame my parents, but
You didn't have any.
I kind of picked my name.
Oh, really? You picked that? That was deliberate? Bro, work harder. I mean, you could have been like Silent McChumpy or The Stalker in the Dark or literally anything other than Paul. I mean, you could only have gone worse if you'd gone with like Derek or Karen or I don't know. It's not, what I'm saying is, it's not that scary.
I've
By
always
now,
liked.
she's not holding his hand, by the way. She's let go of his hand and she's just kind of leaning against the edge of the balcony.
I've always liked Whispering Death myself, but
Oh, really?
there is a reason for a name like Paul Andrews. It's
Because people are so busy laughing, you catch them off guard.
it's forgettable.
Is it though? Anyway, come on, let's get to it. What kind of beast? Like a vampire? You're not a vampire. Are you? I don't know. What are you?
I'm a security consultant.
Of course you are. Just a very, very rich one who doesn't smell of anything except for slightly rotten stuff.
Well,
And
let's
has
not
no
be
sense of
hurtful.
humour.
When I watched you come in this evening, I was thinking it was an unusual move to do that immediately after the violence in Green Park.
No, you're wrong. We did the violence in the park, then we did burgers, then we did coffee, then we did casino.
Obviously, I'm crushed by my lack of understanding of your movements this evening. But I would like, I suppose, to understand how exactly you defeated 4 vampires.
Well, then we're really shit at fighting. But also, if you're going to be all like creepy stalker guy, you've got to get the details right. Otherwise, it's just not that intimidating. Like, oh, I watched you do all these things, but I'm not going to remember all of these things because they're not that interesting to me. But they would be quite scary to you if I record them. But anyway, let's move on.
Well,
That's
I
not
didn't
intimidating.
technically watch you. I have people who do that for me.
Wow. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Guy, scissor sisters, scissor, like 2 sisters.
How many sisters?
Just one really big nasty sister. I'm sorry, Paul. Just 1 minute. I'm sorry. Just one big nasty sister.
Where are you? If you can give me directions, like subtly, if you're away from them, or you just work it into a conversation. Tell
No,
me
she's
where to go.
it's like just the longest route through every door, just all the way through, and then you'll be in a room. I mean, you'll see me. We're out on a balcony with. Sorry, I'm just giving my friend. You don't mind? He got a bit lonely, and it is sort of my job. I'm on duty this evening with him, so he'll be coming through any minute now. I'm really sorry. Just the big door, French doors, windows, balcony. You'll find it. It's fine. Just use your special nose. You'll be great. You'll find me.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry, you were saying.
You've invited a friend to join us?
Well, you've already met him. You knew I had a friend.
Yes, that I knew. I was just wondering what it is that makes you so unusual.
These shoes. I mean, look at them. They're like 2072. Like only 1,000 pairs of these were ever made. And look, they do this. And she raises her foot and sort of makes them twinkle in the light. And can we assume that through this conversation, she sort of angled herself so that she can give him a swift kick in the nuts?
I don't see why not.
Okay, cool. So like they do this, and they're glittery, and there's this like day glow strip, and also watch, and then she'll try really hard to kick him super fast and super hard.
Okay, right. So we're aiming to create some Rolling Stones. Can you please roll an attack for me? This will be a
Yep.
kung fu attack. You are going to get the attack off first. Yours is quickest, and you've got the best narrative for setting it up.
Mhm.
Your attack will be your kung fu plus your strength. So that's what 7 plus 5 is plus 12 on the attack,
Okay, so
please.
1d10 plus 12.
1d10 plus 12.
Ooh.
17.
17. Okay, 17 is a level 5 success. His reaction? Okay, is less than that. Okay, and indeed, your kick lands. The damage you do will be for a kick twice your current strength, plus,
Okay.
in this case, 3. So your current strength is 7, is it?
Yeah.
So 14 is 17. That's the strength of the hit. You land it, and you land it solidly. I mean, you can feel it. Really, really land firmly with your foot
I mean,
driving straight
firmly,
into him.
but it's surprising because they feel like they're really, really tiny.
And he doesn't react at all.
Oh, that's
I
disappointing.
mean, not a movement, not a twitch, not even a rock back of a millimeter or two.
Oh, bro, you got to admit, it was a good try, she says. It was a decent attempt. Yeah, is there any kind of clang or is it
Nothing like
fleshy?
that. No, it feels extremely rigid.
Like
But
wood rigid?
yeah,
Like metal?
something akin to metal or something very hard. It would be like punching metal or kicking metal or stone or something like that.
Damn.
And he, in his turn, pulls out a pistol and
Uh-oh.
points it at you, and he says, "Let's go inside," and points the pistol encouragingly back into the room that you left.
Oh, and I was so hoping you're going to push me off the balcony. Okay, fine. She goes inside. At least I didn't ruin my shoes, though. I mean, there's that, right?
Sure.
Um,
If that's how you salvage the way the evening's going for you, I don't want to get in the way of that.
okay. But you still don't know who I am, right?
That's what I'm curious about.
Okay. I mean, I am just a kid from SW2. Let's not get too excited. And where is Guy at this moment?
Well,
are
that's
we
a good
are we about
question.
to converge?
So, Guy,
Yes.
you are. When we last left you, you were effectively in the corridor outside a security office where you just dropped 2 bodies.
Yes, he will. He will have a little look around. He knows they're not on the ground floor, so he's got to start heading up.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll try and think back to how long it took between them leaving or them leaving, hitting the first floor, which I presume he would have been able to see, and him hearing the door shut. Because I waited for the sound of the door shutting before I started doing stuff.
Okay.
To estimate where they would be floor-wise, at least.
Well, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think we're going to need a roll for that. Can we do a perception with notice, please? So that's +5.
Yes. Now that is a 6 plus 5 from 11.
Okay. Um, are you effectively sprinting up the stairs, and are you in wolf form as you do?
He had turned back,
You had.
but um, let's not go wolf form for the time being. But he is running up the stairs.
Okay. Um, you reach the balcony, glance around, and you make the right judgment call over the way you heard footsteps go, the nature of the door, and how long it took. And you do throw yourself through that because, after all, you knew where they were roughly heading for this balcony, which you know is towards the front of the building, so you know which way to turn. It's just a question of which door you go through,
Yeah.
and you pick what amounts to being the middle door, and find yourself in that same long corridor, and sprint down it. When you come to the door at the end, um, you're aware that you're now looking out over the front of the palace through the window at the end. So turning through that last door seems the logical way, the quickest possible route to get to the balcony. And that's the door that you would naturally want to try. Um, are you
Does it have
going?
a window in it? Can you see?
No, it's a solid wooden door,
Oh, okay.
like most interior doors. Um, you you can open it or stand there. I mean, whatever you'd like to do.
He will indeed open it in a hurry and proceed inwards.
Okay. Um, on the other side of the door, uh, there is a fairly smart-looking lounge-like room. Um, there are sofas and chairs and little tables for people to sit and drink at. Um, and the the space contains a couple of people, a young man and a young woman. They are standing and in the two sort of far corners of the room from your angle, flanking the exit door that you would be aiming for if you were heading towards the balcony. Um, they both have handguns drawn, and they are covering the door as you open it. And the woman yells out, "Stop!"
He does stop and he just says, "I'm just looking for my friend. I don't know whether you saw them come this way. They kind of look a little bit out of place, I suppose, for this kind of setting." And then he just starts taking a couple of steps towards for this setting. They've got really nice shoes, limited edition, really nice, and he'll transform as he starts making his way forwards.
Okay. Um, the woman doesn't seem to flinch. She doesn't seem to um, look afraid or anything like that. She looks suddenly, despite the fact she's wearing like a dress for the evening, and since Socks is obsessed with shoes, a pair of low heels.
No,
Nonetheless,
Bob is obsessed with shoes. Socks doesn't give a shit about shoes.
nonetheless,
An important distinction.
she looks like she knows what she's doing with the pistol. And as you're stepping forward and you turn into a werewolf, she says, "We've loaded silver."
That's interesting if true. But nonetheless, all I want is my friend.
Stay where you are. Make yourself human. And the guy reaches into his pocket and carefully pulls out a pair of handcuffs and throws them towards you, and they skitter along the floor. And cuff yourself.
Oh, I think that kind of hits a little hard. The make yourself human. I don't think he's ever had such a calm reaction to werewolf form, and he will do so.
Okay. Turns human. Are you going to put the cuffs on?
Like a good boy.
He'll pick up the handcuffs and have a quick look at them. Is there anything unusual?
They seem heavier than you might expect normally. And you know how when you take those baths in schnapps,
Oh yeah.
they're
The
just a
peppermint.
little bit tingly.
Oh, they smell of peppermint.
Oh my goodness.
Lovely. They're familiar with wet dog.
This is a joke that only 3 people now understand. And I won't be explaining it. We're fine.
He'll ask outright. He'll. What are these? These aren't usual.
Alloy, shall we say?
Is there a minimum percentage of silver that will injure? So, like, 95 silver is silver that is 92.5% pure. So, if those are only like 50% silver alloy, will it be like they're just not silver enough to hurt somebody who's a werewolf? Is there a threshold for like purity?
It's a fair
Well,
question.
they do half damage.
And you might be about to find out the answer.
Oh.
Oh, uh-oh. He'll look them over
I'll explain it during the break. It's all right, Slade. Don't worry.
and pop them on. Hold up his hands.
Okay. All right. They immediately start moving towards you, coming in from one each side, and each stand just sort of behind your shoulders, and then point towards the direction you were planning to go anyway, and say, "Let's go over a couple of rooms," and start walking you towards the balcony room.
I will continue as long as I feel as though I'm going in the direction of the balcony.
Okay. They push open the first door and you go through into this waiting room area. Remember, this space is essentially completely empty with paintings on the walls, and there are chairs around the walls facing outwards. As they come through, the woman steps just a couple of paces in front of you and touches something on the wall on the inside of the door. And there's a sound like something electronic or electromagnetic turning off, like it powering down. And then she nods to her colleague, and the two of you continue, or the 3 of you continue to the next door. And when you open that door, you find yourself confronted with a rather elegant-looking room with French windows on one side for much of the length of the room, and on the other side a couple of French windows separated by a little bit of bare wall. There are a couple of sofas in the room and a couple of chairs, a couple of small tables, and a
very good-looking woman wearing a very cool pair of trainers.
Very cool pair of trainers, looking slightly confused, standing next to a man you recognise, Paul. who is holding a pistol pointing at her, and they both watch you enter with the two others.
The daisy chain might have got a little bit longer and maybe a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. Hi. This is Paul, and he is our bad guy. Yeah, I think that's fair to say, Paul. I'm not doing you an injustice, am I? You're not the good guy, shall we say?
He smiles and says, "Oh yes, I'm actually very good."
Okay. Sure. I did try to kick him in the nuts, and it just sort of clanged a bit. He's got no bollocks.
Yeah, everybody on Paul's side of the equation smiles at that simultaneously, as if this is not the strangest thing they've ever heard.
It looks like they both already knew that.
Yeah, maybe they've got no bollocks either.
There's another smirk, and then Paul says, "So I thought it was wise to make sure we were prepared for a werewolf." And then he turns back to Barb and he says, "But what exactly are you?"
I told you, I just like I look after him. Like that's just my job. And I'm like, I take him for walks and I persuade him to remain human. And he does a pretty good fetch now. Not that great with food because he just kind of snuffles it on the way.
I don't need shoes anymore.
Doesn't eat the shoes. That's why I can get these really cool new shoes because I'm confident he won't eat them. Is there an emergency button that we can press that will like send a bat signal like we're fucked back to room 97? Is there like a secret thing that we've got that can be like trouble, and then some kind of GPS tracker that will be like, oh, we're gonna leave them alone, but at least we know where they are?
You have a comm system which you can certainly use that way, including an emergency feature which would allow you to send out a red alert. Yes.
Let's do that then. Let's do that right now. Like red alert button press. I'll stretch and yawn and then scratch the back of my head and set the button off.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Do you mind if I sit down, Paul? These trainers are fantastically comfortable, but it's been a bit of a day and my foot's a little bit sore after trying to kick you in the nuts. So those sofas, they're just over there. I promise there won't be any trouble.
Let's all sit.
Okay.
And he sort of waves an expansive arm towards the sofas in the centre of the room, and waits until everybody else is seated. With the two security guards on each side of the werewolf, and he sits next to Barb, still all the time covering with a pistol, you understand.
Can I pat his thigh? Almost as a gesture of like, flirtiness, but mostly to find out if his legs are indeed made of metal.
Okay. Yes, you can. Can you roll a perception for me, please?
Of course I can.
In this case, what's it going to be with
all of it? Let's just have all of it.
I'm going to say it's with notice on this occasion, so +4 only.
As this goes on, I'll just say I'm not normally allowed to sit on the sofas. But
sorry, is that just notice or notice and perception?
Notice and perception. So for you, that's because you've actually got situational awareness as well. That's +2, so it's +6 total.
Okay, so 12.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes, the guards smile along at your comment about not being allowed on the furniture, and and as they do, when you touch his leg, it feels like a leg.
Huh. How about a couple of drinks then, old boy? If we're going to pretend to be informal, let's pretend it's like a whole night.
Let's pretend to answer my questions first.
Okay.
And that's where we'll take our break.
Oh, bro!
Right. So, thank you very much for staying with
Well,
us this far.
that took a turn.
We're about to take just a few minutes break, and then we'll come back and finish this episode with the excitement at the casino. So, please stick with us if you're enjoying, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Right.
And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us, or if you're watching on VOD, fast forwarding to this part. It's very nice to have you back. So we are in the balcony room at Buckingham Palace, with the French windows on one side, looking out over the circle and then the Mall beyond it, and on the interior we are seated at a very comfortable set of sofas. Though, you know, it's not necessarily the most comfortable of moments. So, the last thing that was asked was essentially, what are you?
And I said, can we have a round of drinks?
And he said, let's answer my question first.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what you want from me, to be honest. I mean, trainers, hair, tofu. I'm like I don't know. Do you want to know what I do for a living? Like, is that, what do you want? Where I was born?
I want to know, and I feel like you already know this.
I'm a Pisces.
But I'll explain it as carefully as I can.
Okay.
I want to know how you killed a couple of vampires without really breaking a sweat.
Well, they ran towards me, which helped.
No, that's why you killed a couple of vampires. I want to know how you did it.
There was some punching, and my werewolf friend here did a lot of their because they were running towards me, and he was like, "That's not cool." And I was like, "Help!" And then he was like, "Rah, rah, rah." And then I was like, "And I'll have your trainers." And the guy was like, "No!" And then he was like, "Rah!" And the guy was like, "Okay, take them." And so I took his trainers, and then he was like, "I'm gonna kill you anyway." And then that was sort of it, really. I mean, it's amazing what a werewolf can do when you're out on a walk at night.
Yeah.
Guy just gestures at the trainers.
Yeah.
In handcuffs.
There's a brief pause as Paul sort of listens to this rambling explanation, and then he says, "How about this?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give me a coherent answer, I will have my colleagues fill your friend with bullets."
I feel that's not really the spirit of the game we're playing, though. Do you think?
I mean, although I do appreciate the pause, and he holds up his hands before you said it.
See, he's funny. He's still funny, right? You still got it. Good guy.
I don't enjoy games, but I do like winning.
Oh. Well, how can you win if you don't like games? That's a paradox.
Well, it's like being a gambler. I gamble a lot in this casino, but I don't use my own money.
She just stares at him and waits for the rest of the story. And?
That means I get the joy of winning, but none of the downside to losing.
So you're saying you're really bad at games?
I don't enjoy them. I just enjoy winning.
Do you not enjoy them because you're really bad at them?
I don't enjoy them because I rarely, if ever, find anyone my equal.
Oh.
Whose money do you use?
The casinos.
That sounds like a game in itself, if I'm honest.
It's more of a cover, I suppose you'd say.
It's like, I don't like playing football, but I do like scoring goals. Like, how can you do that unless you're playing the game in the first place?
Well, I suppose if you were to own the stadium and all of the players, it would make it easier, wouldn't it?
Only if the players were the only ones playing the game.
That
Your
casino
metaphor
floor
is
full of
broken,
people
Paul.
playing.
Come on with a better metaphor, Paul. And also, I really like those shoes, but like, where do you get leather patent lace ups? Anyway, they're really nice.
I feel like you're still evading my question.
You haven't really asked one. Gotta be honest.
What
Plus, I
are
mean,
you?
I am a photocopyist and entry level filing assistant. Pisces. I try to be a vegetarian, but god damn it, I love bacon. And a dog walker. I mean, sorry, guy. I'm a care in the community evening cover assistant.
Listen, Bob. This is getting pretty serious now. I think maybe we should tell the truth. And he turns to Paul. She isn't. You don't mind, do you? She is in fact the reincarnation of Joan of Arc.
Oh god, I thought you were going to tell me about my OnlyFans then.
She's the last action hero.
No.
No. She's just a girl sitting in front of a bad guy, telling him that she's a clerk.
All right.
Honestly, Paul, I'm trying. I'm really trying. But I thought, first of all, we had like some kind of, simpatico thing. And then you're like, I'm a scary guy. And now you're like, I'm asking questions that appears to be simple, but I don't like your answers. I don't like. What is it? I didn't kill the vampire. Look at him. He's all werewolfy. How many? I bet you. Like, I don't know, but I bet you there are dead bodies in this building that he dropped that you don't know about yet. I'm just saying, he killed the vampires.
He nods as if sympathetic, and then reaches out a hand with his fingers sort of stretched out towards you, Barb.
There are some consent issues here, Paul.
And right, okay.
Ben did that thing, Ewan. He did that thing.
The dice thing.
He rolled the dice and I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you feel this sort of sensation of heat on your skin, like it's starting to really, really get hot, like the worst sunburn you can possibly imagine, all over your skin.
Are we doing the box in June? Is this what we're doing?
And it starts to build to a point where it is really agonizingly painful. And it's not to the point where it's actually causing you any real damage yet, but it is very, very uncomfortable. And
Paul, this isn't kind. This isn't nice. Paul,
what are you?
I'm just a girl in a modern world. This really hurts. Make it stop and I'll tell you everything. Just make it stop. Please make it stop. This, okay, hurts. Paul, can't think. Just stop it.
He eases it off and immediately your skin starts to return to normal.
God, you're an asshole. I work in a place called Room 97 and I don't know what they do there, but I just, honestly, they gave me a vial of water and they were like, throw it at people with weird teeth. And then the rest of the time I just did a filing. Like, I swear that's the whole, you want to do like a pulse thing? Not the fire thing, that thing was nasty, but honestly, that's what I do. And then they were like, hey, you're pretty good with the paper stuff and the photocopying, so we're going to give you a promotion. Take this guy on a walk and don't let him meet anyone. And I was like, what does that mean? And then this whole thing of vampire happened. And then I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. But what a stupid instruction to some... Show me yours and I'll show you mine.
Can you roll for me, please, a willpower
Oh dear.
with
That doesn't sound good.
+2, please. So a total of +6. Now remember, at these sort of high tension moments, you can always spend a drama point to get +10 as well.
Oh, I think we might have to do that. I'd forgotten that. Okay, so 1d10 +6 +10. And yes,
Yep.
I'd like to use a drama point, please.
Okay.
I got 21.
21. Okay. That's pretty good.
Thank you, Slay.
Ooh. All right. He sits back in his couch and he says, "Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping I wouldn't believe you."
What does that mean?
And he turns to the other two guards and he says, "Take them downstairs." And stands up and strides out of the room the way you all came into it, back out towards that waiting room.
Bye, Paul. Call me. I don't think there's a second date. I don't think that's happening.
Was there a first?
No. He was mean. He was a mean. It's always the ones who act like they're really cool. I'm assuming we're being manhandled to our feet and led through doors at this point.
They are essentially standing up and waving their guns enthusiastically to encourage you to go towards the opposite entrance to the way you came in.
Okay, I mean, I'll happily go in whichever way they're pointing, but the whole time I'm talking to Guy. Okay. I mean, it's always the rich ones. Like, I knew. No guy who dresses that well. I mean, let me tell you that suit was totally polyester. But, it was well-cut polyester. And, oh, man, I thought, honestly, just this once, he'd be different. But no. I mean, that's what you get for falling for the old Lynx Africa trick. Am I right?
Guy nods along and turns to the two people escorting them. He was very concerned with what my friend here is. What's he? What did he do to you?
How many are with us now, by the way? How many are guarding us? Just the two?
Yep.
All right. Can you, as we walk through the building, as all this is happening, can you let us know when we get to a room where there are no people, just the four of us?
The first room you walk into is arrayed not unlike the one the other side. It's got chairs around the walls and has paintings on the walls. It's another sort of ante-room, waiting room. And it is completely empty.
Okay. All right, sorry, I completely interrupted you, Ewan.
No, that's all right. So he'll just ask the people escorting us, what's he? And then he'll turn to Barb, what did he do to you?
They don't answer. Just keep encouraging you with a wave of the muzzles of their pistols.
Just more of that posturing shit, Oh, I'm so cool. I'm totally the guy you want to get with. Isn't it a shame that you're not who I thought you were?
He had really shitty shoes, though, if it helps.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming we've developed some kind of secret signal between us where, like, we're nodding and let's get started on killing people now.
Yeah. The pre Daisy Chain
yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The as you go through this room, are you going to act in this room or wait till the next one?
No, there's nobody else in this room but the four of us, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Daisy Chain. What about it? What do you think? Daisy Chain? You guys like daisy chains?
And they they obviously don't react. It doesn't make any sense to them.
Can I, in that case, whip around and knock my overall aim is to disarm this guy with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, assuming I'm turning in a clockwise motion, my right hand will knock the gun out. My left hand, with the heel of my hand, I'm hoping to punch him in the nose. So essentially break his nose and drive him back away from me.
Okay, yep. All right.
A flower Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so essentially you want to go for one and then the other in the same move.
No, the same one.
Okay.
Who's got a gun pointed at me with my right hand. As I whiz around with my right hand, I'm going to knock the gun out of their hand. And with my left hand, I'm just going to slam the heel of my palm into their nose.
Okay. So you're going to turn to your right, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use your right arm to knock their gun sideways, effectively, and then follow it up with a hit from the left. Yes, you can do that. And with your dexterity, it shouldn't be a problem to get that off. We are, however, entering combat, so it means everybody gets to decide what they want to do, and it's down to who's got the shortest action. So, Guy.
Guy wants to turn to the one closest towards him and grab the hand with the gun in and just point it up, essentially, away from everyone.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But are we also not acting out of surprise? They won't really.
Well, we'll see, because if you're both going to do that, you're both going to have to turn a little bit, which is going to give them just a little bit of warning. So, the one who is tracking Guy, as soon as he starts to turn, that guy's going to that fellow is going to raise his gun and try to take a shot. Guy, what is your dexterity in human form?
2.
Okay, all right. He's going to get that chance first. The other side of the fight, your dex is 7, isn't it? Barb's is 7, I think. Yes.
You've got my character sheet. I don't know. I do what you tell me.
Yeah, 7. So you will actually effectively be able to move first for the first part of it, and if that works, you can get the second part off. If not, if you miss, then there could be a chance for the guard to do what they want to do. Okay, so we'll start with the shot that would ring out, aimed at Guy. Okay.
No, but go on.
Okay. It misses. Possibly because it's not, it has to be taken as a very fast snapshot. It misses completely. So there is a loud bang, of course, in the room, deafeningly loud. But Guy, you do indeed get your attack in. I'm going to suggest this is going to be a tougher attack than usual, because you are handcuffed.
Yes. Indeed.
So, can you roll for me your attack? It's a melee attack, so with strength 3, plus D10 plus your kung fu, which is also 3, so that's D10 plus 6, and then you subtract 3 from it, so make it a plus 3 D10.
Yes. Can I too spend a drama point, please?
Yes, you can. So that's going to take you through to plus 13 total.
Which feels better. That's a 5, so an 18, please.
Okay, an 18, yeah.
Oh, minus the 3.
Pom, pom, pom. Right, yes. Okay, 18 is level 5. And yeah, okay. You easily manage to knock the gun upwards and hit with a fair amount of weight. It's not really intended to be a damaging attack, but
Yeah.
it'll cost them, I think, a couple of points in the impact, a couple of their life points. And then we move to, and you are effectively grappling, holding on to the arm at the end of the round. The other side of the fight, Barb, please get off your attack. Feel free to use a drama point if you think you need it.
What am I rolling? Is 1d10 plus what?
1d10 plus, in your case, it is a straight attack. Remember, this one has to go off, or the woman with the pistol will get a shot.
Can I not use like dexterity and kung fu?
Yes, you will be. So
okay.
You will be using your kung fu and your strength and kung fu.
Strength and kung fu.
So
okay,
a total of plus 12.
I think I can manage that without a drama point.
Okay.
But is this just to attack them? Or is this to attack and hurt them?
Well, this will do both because it's an attack on the arm to try and disarm them.
So if I did a drama point and added plus 22, we're definitely going to be breaking that arm, is what we're saying.
We would certainly add damage potentially, yeah.
Let's use a drama point.
Okay.
1d10 plus 22.
All right.
Can't take him with you.
24.
That's a 24.
I only rolled a 2.
Okay, a 24 is 7 levels of success. And the woman rolled a 3. So,
Oops.
As a consequence, that is in fact 7 levels of success. You have nailed 7 levels. So that is, given that it is a basic melee attack with essentially a punch. Your initial punch is your strength, which is 7. Plus the 7 is a total of 14 damage done with that hit, which will indeed disarm her. She will no way be able to hold on to the weapon, which means also she does not get off any attack against you yet. She'll have to wait until after you've finished everything. And now you have your second attack if you'd like to take it.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, so this is to drive the heel of my hand into her nose, like upwards, and so essentially I want to collapse like that little bit of cartilage up into her eustachian tubes.
Yep. Okay, so that's, again, it's a straight melee attack, so 12 d10 plus 12, please.
Plus 12. I'm not going to take the extra dice this time. I mean, I did get a 13. Does it matter if I roll a 1? I did roll a 1 on that one.
No, that's fine. That's 1 plus 12 is 13.
Okay.
A 13 is 3 level of success, and and she has not succeeded again.
Oh dear.
She's not rolling particularly well.
I'm not trying to kill her. I'm just trying to get her to back off and incapacitate her.
That's a total of 3 levels of success. Your strength
maybe
is
a smidge of brain damage.
7, so that's a total of 10 damage this time. The hit is enough to do for her.
Okay.
She
Wait,
drops.
do for her like she's dead?
She is done. Yep.
Oh no. And then, because I like a pithy punchline whenever I've killed somebody, I look at the other guy and I'm like, you think I'm bad? He's not even house trained.
You do actually have time to say something like that because the other two are grappling. They're wrestling together. Okay. That brings us to the end of the combat round. One of them is done, and the other one is grappled with a human form werewolf. So, the guard is definitely going to try to get control by kicking out at the werewolf who is holding him. He's gonna take a good solid kick at the werewolf. What do you guys want to do?
Uh, I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna ask guy if he's got this. Like, assuming he's not going and I'm gonna try and get to the door that we're about to move through in case anybody hears us and comes through it.
Okay, all right. So, I guess the first question is, Guy, do you have this, or are you going to say no? Help!
Oh no, I have a better idea. Sorry, can I take that back?
Of course.
Can I rummage in her pockets for the key to the handcuffs?
Yes.
I'm gonna do that then.
Okay. All right. You can indeed search her for the keys. That will take a little bit longer than any combat action. So, Guy, what are you up to?
I get the feeling I know how this is going to go, Ben, but I want to try and transform into a werewolf, please.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah, who
maintain
needs
grapple.
hands?
You find that you are unable to. However, during the attempt, the guard will take an attempt at kicking you. Oh, that's not so bad. 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay.
For you, it's not so bad.
Can you roll, please? That's a 3 level of success. Can you please roll an attempt to, block and defend yourself and all the rest of it, evade? So can you roll a strength plus your kung fu? So that's a total of 6, plus a d10, please.
Yes. Can indeed. That is a 6 plus 10.
16?
Sorry, 6 plus 6.
Okay,
12.
12. All right. The difference
Got ahead of myself.
is 1 level of success. So a hit is landed. It is a kick. That's 2 times strength. That's a total of 9 life points.
Ooh,
Wow.
my human life point total as well.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Right.
Okay. And while that's going on, Barb is rummaging for a key. Can you please roll for me a perception and I'm tempted to say, it's got to be notice, hasn't it? So a total of plus 6. So D10 plus 6, please.
Okay. 16.
Okay. Yes. You.
And by the way, guys, I'm rolling in D20, like in roll
It's a good
20.
time to roll a 10.
I'm not just making it up. These two clowns can see what I'm rolling.
Yeah.
So essentially, we are going to find that in just a couple of seconds, you do indeed retrieve the key from her pocket.
I got the key.
Use it.
Okay. Can I just hey, you hold on a second? Like maybe it worked on a vampire, maybe it'll work on this piece of cheese. And I'm gonna fumble. Well, I'm not gonna fumble. I'm gonna adeptly unlock the just one of the bracelets.
Okay. So the situation is this: the other two are still in combat. So
I know.
So actually, finding a keyhole and sticking a key into it while Guy is flailing around trying to defend himself from incoming gunfire might not be the easiest thing in the world.
Can I kick the guy in the chest and then and then unlock?
Yes, you can certainly try and kick the guy in the chest. Is that your combat move?
Yeah, just to get him to have to rebalance. I just need 1 second.
Okay.
Like if he can just tumble backwards a bit and then have to find his balance and come forward. That's enough time.
So you want to land a kick. He is going to level his pistol and take another shot at Guy.
Well, he's a dick.
That's entirely possible. Guy, what are you planning to do?
Guy's going to try and unlevel the pistol and point it away from him, assuming
Okay.
we're still grappling.
Because you're still grappling, whoever wins that test of strength, so to speak, it's going to be it's going to take longer than swinging a kick. So, Barb, please make your kick attack. That is your strength, which is 7, plus your kung fu, which is 5, please. So a total of plus 12.
21.
Okie dokie.
Do I just kick him across the room?
21 is 6 levels of success. He actually, yep, he can do some of that. Not with that roll, he can't. Okay, that's 6 levels of success. So that is twice your strength plus 6, which is a total of 20. That is not enough to kill him, but I'm going to suggest it's enough to absolutely launch him across the room and land him in a heap against the wall.
Have a collapsed lung or something?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's close enough to fatal to probably have him badly wounded. Yeah.
Down, boy. See, you got to do it. And then I have the key and I try and unlock Guy.
Okay, all right. The in this moment of calm, as the guy in the corner is whimpering softly, you do indeed get the key into the lock, and the handcuffs open very easily.
So what have we learned? The big bad is called Paul, and he has lots of these people who aren't very good at fighting and break really easily, which is shocking given how hard his testicles were. Also, the casino is not that much fun. The balcony kind of sucks, though. Let me tell you, I was able to run it anyway. And we should probably leave. Are you okay? Is it like bad? Let's just take all these off. And then she unlocks the other manacle as well.
Keep hold of those. They were nasty. And
Okay.
Guy will hurry over to where the other person is lying and pick up their gun and shoot the other person.
Okay.
The one who is still
all right
alive, with a gun full of silver bullets, which is very unnerving for a werewolf.
Yeah, by all means, take a shot. That will be your gun fu.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Which is nothing. Plus your dex, which in human form is 2. Plus a d10, please.
Indeed. Can I use a drama point, please?
You can.
This feels quite dramatic.
So that, yes, it would be. So that's plus 12.
That's an 8 plus 12.
An 18. Okay. With 18 done, that is going to be...
Don't forget the pithy one-liner upon death.
That's plus 5. Okay. The damage of this pistol is... against a human is 12 plus 5 is 17.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it wipes him with a single shot.
And then Guy says...
Guy says nothing at this point. He does stick the pistol underneath his shirt, down the back of his trousers, and he walks over to the person to get their one.
Oh, can I say it then? Can I say the line?
And hands it over to Barb and says, "Do you wanna do the honours?"
They're all dead. No, can I say? It turns out you are house trained.
That's the one.
Thank you.
Well, palace trained at least.
Palace trained. I don't. Yeah, I don't really do guns.
Yeah, I just keep hold of it. It makes me nervous knowing that there are guns with silver
You have
bullets lying
two
around this
hands.
place.
You have 2 guns now. That's fine. Just do that.
Okay. And he'll take them both, and
Okay.
stash them away. Keep hold of
By the way-
those cuffs, though. They're
Yeah, can I put the cuffs on my can I put one cuff against my arm to see if it tingles on me at all?
Yeah, you can. It does not.
It does not. So can I put both bracelets on one wrist? Because I know that I've got the key, and that I do put in my pocket.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. So then it's not. I mean, it is a cool fashion statement and also super practical.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. So, you are in a room. There are doors on 3 sides, essentially, and windows
Walk north.
overlooking the
Lick
front.
north.
Bob, there is a computer room downstairs with 2 dead security guards in it. If you want to dig around for any other information, or we just
I think Nasty Man Paul is
calmly.
downstairs, and I think maybe we should just, leave. Now we've discovered the, Ratfuck Central is whatever building this is. We need to just, I think, go back to room 97 and share our exciting evening with them all.
regroup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Can we stop?
What's your plan for exit?
We're on the 2nd floor, right?
The first floor.
The 1st floor. So that's ground floor, 1 floor up for Americans.
Yep.
So we could legitimately jump off the balcony to get out from here.
Yes.
Let's do that then. Let's just jump off the balcony.
Yes. I mean, Guy would have to turn into a werewolf to do it with any comfort.
Or I could just catch you.
Or you could catch him, yeah.
Let's do that because it'd be hilarious.
In fact, he could leap into your arms and you could jump off the balcony with him in Princess Carry.
Oh, let's do that!
Like the Princess Bride.
Yeah, like the Princess Bride. Only that just made me Andre the Giant, thanks.
I still maintain that I am neither a dog nor a puppy. Puts his arms around her neck.
Good boy.
Jumps up.
Can I
Jumps up into her arms.
Can I scratch his tummy while he's in my arms? You good boy.
Okay.
You owe me a burger for that.
You make your way back to the
Wait, are you in my arms now and I'm walking through the palace with a grown man in my arms? Is that what we're doing?
I thought you were jumping out the window.
Yeah, but we're not. No, the balcony. We're getting off the balcony.
Get off the
Fine,
balcony.
I'll carry you the whole way there. It's completely unnecessary. Let's do it.
It's not that far.
All right. I know you've had a bit of a night, but you're not alone. I kind of open the door with my bum and sort of wiggle my way back through it and across, stepping over the whatever, and then we're at the French door. Finally.
Okay.
As she says, "You're not alone." He gazes into her eyes and just says, "I know," and then laughs.
Lick my ear once, and it's over between us.
All right. No one seems to appear or interfere as you step out onto the balcony. If you would like to drop down carrying the werewolf, admittedly in human form, Barb, can you make a strength with... I'm sure there has to be an actual skill that's specific to this. Yes, there is. Sports.
Carry werewolf.
Carry werewolf. This is the werewolf carry, which is an unusual part of the Highland Games, but
This
nonetheless...
isn't the pet rescue skill. I thought we rolled really well for the pet rescue.
So it's sports plus strength, please. So that's a D10 plus 9.
D10 plus 9. I'm not going to add any extra dice to this.
You shouldn't need to.
We ride or die on this roll.
It should,
Yeah,
it should be okay.
16.
Yeah.
I got 16.
It's not just that you successfully drop to the ground. It's an elegant landing. It looks like you've just alighted from the side of a Range Rover rather than leapt off the side of a building carrying someone. Your brand new shiny shoes sparkling in the moonlight. You land and Guy drops elegantly to to the ground at your feet, and the two of you are directly in front of the main archway entrance into the casino, on their sort of front steps, and there are people about, just milling about, who look a little bit surprised that two people just literally jumped out of the window in front of them, because the main glass doors into the casino are right behind it. It's something that people might notice.
Like the balcony looked down, like over Victoria's head and down the mall, right?
That's right.
So I can say to somebody, we just got married, and then hold Guy's hand and we can run up the mall.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely
let's do that
can.
then. Yeah. We just got married, and then I hold out my hand.
And Guy takes it.
Okay. And
with a big grin on his face.
Okay, and you run hand in hand
Up the mall.
up the mall and away.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And all the way back to room 97.
And I think that is a lovely place to call it for the evening.
Via burgers. Wonderful.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. That was enormous
That's not where
fun.
I thought that was going. Gonna be honest.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
That was
Still,
really good, yeah.
I got to pose the baddie like Prince Philip and call him a slightly racist granddad.
Yes, you did.
I'm happy with that. That's an outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely did. And, he may be a bad guy, but he nonetheless clearly was slightly baffled by your confusing antics.
I mean, that's half the point of them, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's
the most redeeming feature.
It is clearly a tactic, and not just because it's kind of fun.
It is fun.
So,
But also, I decided in this game, more than like all the other games where I play like stupidly brazen female characters, which is like all the games, I decided this one was going to be like completely rooted in her confidence.
yeah.
No doubt, no self-recrimination. Just here is the moment. I am in it, and I want to have fun with
The
everything I do.
advantage of being a slayer is you actually
Which works amazing.
your body can cash the checks that your ego's writing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Certainly can.
Yeah. And also you and I love the murder spree. That was chef kiss. Perfect.
Somewhat awkward, but hey, we made it through.
At least this time there weren't any children. That's the important thing.
Yeah. God. To anyone new to this channel, that is a habit. Yeah.
Yes, a long time ago, one of Ewan's characters went on a killing spree. Not intentionally, it just kind of developed, in which
things escalated.
Families of goblins or something like that ended
Gremlins. They were gremlins.
Destroyed.
No, definitely goblins. Huge, evil goblins.
Yes, they were.
No.
Many large goblins.
With
Right.
no weapons at all, just in their bed sleeping peacefully. I mean, they were aggressively coming at you.
To be fair, they're even more peaceful now.
That is true. That is true. Well, that was exciting. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Really
so
was.
much for
Good fun.
for playing along tonight. That was enormous fun, and we will stream again next Friday night at about the same kind of 11 o'clock ish sort of time.
Yeah.
Until then, thank you so much. Thank you, Socks, for joining us. It
Oh,
really
pleasure.
is enormous fun to have you back.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you to everyone in chat as well.
Yes,
and the
thank you to
raiders.
everyone in chat. And
Much
anyone who
appreciated.
catches up on the VOD as well. We really do appreciate people coming along. And
Oh, and I wrote in your Discord command if anybody's still here and isn't in our Discord. There it is.
excellent. Yes. So, thank you very much all. And we will be back online in 6 days on Friday night. We just don't know exactly what we'll be streaming yet.
No idea. Embrace the chaos.
But it'll be something. And it might turn out to be a Cecil and Cecily, possibly.
Oh, you tease.
And it will definitely be chaotic.
And it
That
will
means
definitely
I've
be chaotic.
got to remember what that accent was now.
Well, to be fair, I think it was different both times.
That's very kind of you, Ben. Thanks.
So it can be different again.
Yeah, but hopefully Luke will be back with us soon. He's just, I don't know, laying his cable in his backyard.
He is exactly doing that. That is exactly what he's doing right now. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Russ. You too.
thank you very much, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.